Good morning, Singapore. People's Voice has come to Punggol Pasir Ris GRC this morning to do our Bread for All program. And as usual, the bread just vanished so quickly. And it gave us a wonderful opportunity to talk to the residents here. And you know what strikes me, having spoken to many of the residents here, is the complaint about the incredible cost of living. I spoke to one senior person. He said, you know, during my time, I was the only breadwinner for my family. And yet, I was able to bring up 2 children quite comfortably. Today, my child, my son, has his wife working. And both of them do not even dare to have a child. And he was asking me, he said, what about our wages? Our wages have gone completely stagnant. There has been no increase, whereas prices keep increasing. My friends, think about this. You know, it was published yesterday that last year, NWC, the National Wages Council, recommended a minimum increase of $50 to $70 for low-wage workers. By low wage, last year it meant workers who earn $1,300 and below. Only 45% of companies gave their low wage workers that increase. 40% of the companies did not give their workers that increase at all. And yet we know from everyday life that prices are increasing all the time. And when you think about it, those low-wage workers still have to pay the CPF contribution of 20%. What does that leave them at the end of the day? 1,100 or thereabouts? How are you going to raise a family on that? And don't forget, out of these 154,000 low-wage workers, the government is very clever. It doesn't give you the statistics of how many of these low-wage workers are below 35. Because you know that if you are below 35, you are not entitled to workfare. Tell me, how is that 35-year-old going to be able to raise a family? So the PAP has all these harebrained schemes. They come up with all the propaganda and say, oh, we take care of the poor, the needy, and the low wage. But you ask yourself the practical question. In today's Singapore, how many of you are able to survive on less than $1,000 or $1,100 today? And we heard from many of the constituents here as well, very unhappy about how the PAP have performed the last few years. And of course, I told them, and many were shocked, that their area MP here, Zainal Sapari, who is an Assistant Secretary General of the NTUC, was one of the 3 MPs who spoke up in Parliament recommending that the withdrawal, that the payment age, monthly payment age for the CPF be delayed from 65 to 70. And again, many people were shocked that their MP could be saying such a thing. Because, you know, to many seniors, the CPF payment is vital for their everyday living. So, I leave you with that message, my friends. We are going to move to Sengkang after this, and I will speak to you from there. Thank you. Good morning, Singapore. People's Voice is at our second location this morning in Sengkang West SMC. Now, we brought our Bread for All program here as well, and again, a great success. What strikes us is how young the demography of this area is. We have gone around the food court here, huge food court, a lot of very young families, and we spoke with them about their aspirations and their hopes for the future. And you know, it is amazing. The one issue that keeps coming up is about job insecurity. Many of these people, many of these constituents are in their 30s. And yet, they have told me that they are uneasy, seeing how many of the jobs in Singapore today are going to non-Singaporeans. Now, we are not xenophobic. We have never been a xenophobic country. But we need to be a country that takes care of its citizens. And that is what many of them are expressing regret and sadness about, because they say we have a government that does not look after the interests of Singaporeans. Isn't it amazing? On the way here, I saw 3 young people all delivering Grab food. One of them on a PMD, and one of them on a scooter, and one on a bicycle. Now, see, my friends, we have got to make better use of our human resource. I grew up with Lee Kuan Yew telling the Singaporeans that human resource was the only resource we have. And yet we are wasting it. It is a criminal waste of our human resource when our young people are displaced doing low-level jobs when they can do much better. And these people here, these young people here, tell me, we look around us. All the high-paying jobs are going to the foreigners. Is that right? I say it is not. And you ask yourself, the PAP talks about tripartism all the time. All right, their partnership with business, NTUC, and themselves. But what is NTUC doing for you? Is it fighting for your rights? Is it fighting to improve the welfare, the wages of Singaporeans? No, it is not. And that goes back to what that senior person in Pasir Ris told me this morning. Our wages have stagnated. But what is NTUC doing for us? Absolutely nothing. Tripartism, my friends, is a disaster for that Singapore worker. And when a non-PAP government comes into power, that is one of the first things it must do. It must dismantle this so-called tripartism structure, which does no service to the Singaporean. Thank you very much.